Welcome to the Political Matrix News. Politics, people, local, regional, national news. Political Matrix News keeps you informed. We have the sources, we have the truth from inside the Political Matrix.
Welcome to another edition of the Political Matrix Podcast. This is Mike Bates. That other fellow on the screen, that's Greg Fink.
Yes, just two of us now today. We beat everybody down.
That's right.
Everybody else that got beaten down. So how you doing today, Mike? It's election day.
Voted today. Yeah, today is primary day here in Florida. I did go to my precinct. I did cast a ballot, even though it was politically pointless because Donald Trump and Joe Biden have numerically clinched their respective nominations.
Right.
So Florida's primary today and every primary after this one is completely irrelevant in terms of determining who the nominees will be for the 2024 presidential election.
Why did you go, though? What drove you there?
Well, I drove myself there. You know, I'm not a limousine liberal with a driver, okay? But I drove myself there, and I walked in, and there was literally nobody there except the poll workers. And so I walked in, and I kind of stopped, and there were 3 desks with 2 people at each desk. So I guess there were 6 poll workers, and I kind of very loudly announced in a room that kind of echoed anyway, "So which line should I stand in?" And that at least got a laugh.
Yes.
And they called me over to one table, and I went over there and gave my ID and that kind of thing. And I voted. I did not, however. Who do you think I voted for?
I think you voted for Vivek.
Nope.
Really?
Did not.
You voted for Trump?
Hell no. I voted for Ron DeSantis.
Ron
DeSantis. No, they all quit except for Trump.
What?
But I voted for Ron DeSantis, who is my true preference. Now, those of you that love Trump, before you get too angry with me, I don't want Trump back in the White House. He did a fine job the 4 years he was in. I don't want him back in. Having said that, though, if he's the nominee, which is going to happen, he will 100% get my vote. He just wasn't going to get it in the primary. So I actually prefer Ron DeSantis. And if I could appoint the president and couldn't appoint myself, I would appoint Ron DeSantis. Okay. But I cast my ballot today for Ron DeSantis. And the reason, which was your first question of why, it's because I wanted to maintain my 100% voting record. And I figured if I skipped a primary, however meaningless it may be, I won't be a 100% voter anymore. And that's important to me, to maintain that 100% voter status. So that's why I did it.
Well, I found guilty of violating my 100% status here today. I mean, I have missed a few elections here and there. Strangely enough, I do a lot of work for other campaigns. And so on election day, I'm working on their campaigns and never get back around to my polling location.
Yep.
That's another thing that happened today. I was working on the other part of the county and trying to drum up support and turnout for petition cards that we're trying to get signed for other candidates. So I think our team only got 1 card signed the entire day because the way that 150 feet, you had to be away from the door, and the way that situated us in the precincts in Alachua County, you were pretty much nearly at the back of the parking lot at most of the precincts. And people were not parking in the back in this cold weather to go vote. They were parking up front in the weather to go vote. So that being said, we had no way of getting any kind of communication really with any of the voters to get petition card signed. So it was kind of a fruitless day with that area. But, the turnout, I think the top of the ticket turnout and the top of the ballot issue with the presidential races being so, not important right now, basically dried up any kind of down ballot races that were in throughout the state of Florida. There's a lot of down ballot races for municipal races and city races and special district races going on, and a lot of them did not get votes because nobody turned out.
Right.
And so a lot of the down ballot people suffered greatly by a very bad turnout because the presidential race was already decided before this. And
so, here in Escambia County, where I vote, it's the only ballot the only race on the ballot was the presidential. But I know there are others elsewhere. In
Escambia County, the city votes used to be separated. The city of Pensacola used to vote in April, and the presidential preference was in March or February, and the city would vote in April or May. then the county would do their votes and everything. And so the city had their own separate elections back then. So that way, a low turnout of a big race like this wouldn't affect their own turnout for their own races. But that being said, I mean, it's a lot of people are trying to save money, so they're consolidating resources or consolidating elections. And that being said, your turnout's getting low, your representation is getting low, and so I mean, it's just a crapshoot, really. And so I don't think it's really fair for a lot of down ballot races. But I think that's one thing we saw today was a huge, huge disservice for that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But so, Biden and Trump both clinched it on Saturday. So
yeah, they did,
and that was 2 Saturdays ago.
Right, 2 Saturdays ago, they clinched it, and so I mean, everybody knew that the race was going to be a very small turnout, but I had no idea it was going to be this bad of a turnout. It was pretty bad. I mean, I was at 3 or 4 precincts, and we had like 12 votes between the 4 precincts in the first 3 hours.
Yeah, I voted midday, and I was the 26th person in there. So I would be very surprised if my precinct breaks 100 votes.
Wow! And yours
I'm going to look it up.
And yours is
very closed
busy
as of this podcast.
Right, and it's a very busy precinct. It's a very busy precinct as well. Yours is one of the top precincts in the county. So that's it says
not my current precinct. No, I've moved. Yeah, you don't know where I am now.
No. I don't know where you live now.
Yeah, you actually do know, but yes, this precinct is not huge.
Oh, is that?
Not like mine used to be. No, the one I used to vote for was huge, but this one's really
right. Okay. Well, I think that's all we have here for this segment right here. I think when we come back, we're going to be talking about a lot more with Trump and Biden and the Supreme Court. And I think we have a little bit to talk about with Trump's, his bonding ability. And so you guys stay tuned. We'll be right back.